We're gonna wait. There we are. Good morning. This is Mona, and this is my morning view. Today, spring edition 2025. Blue skies. Blue skies. It's a little bit chilly back here in the back. Don't know what the temperature is because the thermometer is getting greenhouse effect and it says it's almost 100. So I think it's going to warm up nicely today. I just need this for right now since it's morning time. Won't bring it to work. All right. That's the spring edition 2025. Today it is Memory Monday. Memory Monday. So I was just thinking right before I turned to go about yesterday. My daughter turned 2. And we were celebrating her life. Birthday party. Awesome. And in the meantime, there were people that were saying they were glad that they put it on Sunday because they had a funeral on Saturday. Or a celebration of life for somebody who's passed on Saturday. And some of them were having to go to a funeral today. I mean, not today. Yesterday. The day of the party. So they were splitting their time, coming to the birthday party and then going to the funeral. And it's like, what do you wear for that? Don't know. They did it very well. So anyways, that was what my thought was going to be. So we're going to travel down that road right after this commercial break. Commercial break, like, comment. Even if you don't agree, comment. Tell me why you don't agree. Give me some backup to why you don't agree. And, hey, if you know some extra things to share about the subject matter, put those in the comments too, right? Share. If you think the comment, if you think the content, if you think the content is valuable, if you think a friend would enjoy it, share it. Share it. All right. If you want to see it again, you might want to share it just so that it's on your feed. However, Facebook does delete videos after 30 days now. So I don't know how that happens when it is shared, how that works. So at this point, we're moving over to YouTube. YouTube does not delete your content. So for now, I am doing 3-minute videos on YouTube. So go over to YouTube after you watch this live. Go over to YouTube, Mona E. Harrison. Mona E. Harrison, like, subscribe, hit notifications, share, comment, get all the bells and whistles. But don't forget to subscribe. Do that right now. If you're watching YouTube right now, hit subscribe because that'll help me out. I'm not too worried about how many subscribers I have. I'm not worried about how many, people see the video. I would like for a lot of people to see the video. I would like to have a lot of subscribers. However, I'm just being obedient. So, doing these. The reason why I want you to hit subscribe right now, the important part, is because it only allows me 3 minutes. I cannot get through my comment. I can't even get through a commercial in 3 minutes, okay? So, hit subscribe so that I can have 50 subscribers so that I can move from 3 minutes to hopefully 15 minutes. That's what I'm looking for. I'm wanting to be able to do this content in 15 minutes or less. Most of the time it's about 15 to 20 minutes. And sometimes it goes longer than that, depending. I know that when I have to do commercials, it takes away from my time. Time is ticking, tick, tick, tick. So anyways, subscribe right now. Subscribe. That is my commercial. Now moving forward to the content of Memory Monday. So as I'm thinking about these people, the majority of the people either having to go to a celebration of life / funeral on Saturday, to having to do a birthday party on Sunday celebrating life itself, and also having to go to funerals. So there's life and there's death. And so I started thinking about it, the life of my parents. My dad was around 71 when he passed. He passed from complications from being at Bikini Atoll. He had an aneurysm, and he had suffered from complications for decades. They had, back in 1971, he was 71 years old, not in 71. He was 71 when he passed. Back in 1971, he was only given 5 years. He got to live another 25 years. So it would have been great if he would have cherished every moment of his life, because he got to live another 25 years. And he probably would have lived a little longer if he was more cheery, less negative. Now, my mother passed. She was about 76, I believe. Because I didn't calculate it before I started this. I was just thinking about it right before I went on my morning view. So to go back and think about exactly how old she would have been, I'm thinking she was around 75, 76. And in that, she died because of complications with hepatitis C. So kind of before their time, right? And my dad kind of after his time, because they'd only given him 5 years. So I'm looking at this, thinking, celebration of life. What would my celebration of life look like, you know? I didn't get too deep, because I'm wanting to do my morning view. But the thought that my husband's father, my husband's grandfather, they both died around 50 years old, 51, 52 years old. Now, we are well past that at this point. And his sister passed away in her 40s. So looking at family genetics or family history, my family history gives me about another 10 more years. 10, 15 more years. Maybe. Not even 15. 13. My husband, on the other hand, he's past his time. So every day should be a celebration of life. As well, how am I going to live my life for the next 10 years? And how is he going to live his life every day? Because every day is a gift. Is a gift. My brother passed away when he was around 55. So if I look at my brother, I'm past that. I'm past that. So every day is a gift to me as well. Right? So every day is a gift. How are we going to spend that gift? How are we going to invest that gift? I keep saying the word spend when I really mean invest. How are we going to invest our life every day that we are allowed to wake up and breathe? I mean, it sounds like a wonderful Wednesday moment. It sounds like, thank you, God, that I woke up this morning, that I get to do this morning view, that I get to speak to all of you, that I get to breathe and have life more abundantly, because we are promised life more abundantly. But if we want to sit in our wallow and think about, oh man, my family, they all passed away, at a younger age than me. I mean, I'm ready to kick the bucket any moment. Oh, woe is me. No, get out of that. You're alive today. Celebrate life today, so that others can celebrate your life later. Not, wow, we were expecting it. It was coming, They, that's how they live their life, And they're in a better place now, hopefully. Because if they rejected God, they are not in a better place. They would have separation from God. We've talked about this before, about you could your soul and your spirit can leave the body. So when your spirit leaves the soul, that it becomes separated. When your spirit dies, your soul lives on without God if your spirit isn't alive. So when people pass away and they kind of been miserable and bitter and not really like life that much, and people come to their funeral, they miss them, but it's like, it was a long time coming. There was a time in their life that they had some spunk to them. Some happened along the way. Life happened along the way. And it's how they took life along the way. How they spent their days. But we have the opportunity to invest our days. And we invest our days. At the end of life, we have interest. Interest that works for us. We have dividends coming our way. But we don't have that if we spend it. If all we do is spend our life day in, day out, go to work, every day's the same, we're going to work, and we come home, and we eat dinner, and we go to bed, and the next day it starts all over again, and maybe on the weekend you might be able to do something fun, but most of the time you're catching up at home for what you didn't have the energy to do during the week because you were working. Now, I'm not saying go out and quit your job. I'm saying that we need to invest our days. Daily accrued interest is coming our way. So that when, after we have our celebrations of life year after year after year, happy birthday, yay! When we come to the final celebration of life, and you are no longer earthly here, just your body that's being buried or cremated or sent out on a Viking ship, whatever it is, others get to continually reap the dividends that you invested in your daily life, and thereafter there is reward. There's reward for that. When it comes to the judgment, right? Judgment is not all bad. Remember, I've told you before, settlement. It's a judicial term. Judgment is a judicial term that says, okay, you're going to get life imprisonment. Or you are awarded $100 million for your pain and suffering. You are awarded $100 million because they messed up, and you're getting something substantial out of it because you did what you were supposed to do, and you have all the things in order that shows that you deserve that. Now, we don't want to get caught up in the awards and the rewards. We don't want to get caught up into that. It's not about the rewards. It's not about the jewels and the crown. Because we're going to take that crown and we're going to put it before Jesus' feet. We're going to be like, this ain't me. This is all about you. But it's better to have put investment. When we were young, we wanted to invest, and back in the day, you had to have at least $1,000 to invest into like a 401, not a 401k. It was some kind of I don't even remember how it worked. I just remember there was a financial network at Sears. You know, we're talking young, dumb, don't know nothing about this. Is before my banking days. You know, and we wanted to save up that $1,000 so that we can put it in to investments. But being in the military, we had to move like every year. Almost every year. Every time we moved, we had to take out all of our savings and use it for moving purposes. So we never was able to get that $1,000. And as the years went by and we got out of the military and we settled down in one spot and we started our jobs, I was putting extra into 401k to make up for all the years that I didn't have a 401k. Because that's all I knew at that point. I knew that we didn't have to save up $1,000 now. Now we could put it out of our paycheck, a certain amount, a percentage. And you wanted to at least do 3% because 3% is what the employer match was. So that was like free money. So you put in 3%, they put in 3%. Oh yeah, that's extra money. We'll do it. You should always do that, by the way. 401ks, I'm not a big promoter of 401ks. However, you should always invest the match that your company is willing to match. So if it's 1%, you put in 1. If you 3%, put in 3. I was putting the max that I could invest out of my paycheck. And I think that was like 10 to 13%. I don't remember exactly. I think it was 10% and then they matched it with the 3%. So it was 13% that was going to my 401k. So there was an investment. We started to invest, but we really didn't know the investing life, right? We didn't know about investing our life. We just were taking one day at a time because of one day at a time, sweet Jesus. Right? One day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's what we know. One day at a time. So we just trudged along one day at a time. But really, we were to invest daily. And as we invest daily, it compounds daily. And the compounding of 72, whoa! That'll blow your mind. You can look that up, by the way. When you invest your life, not just your finances, the celebration of life after our bodies are done on this earth, the first death, our bodies, the rewards go on. The interest compounded goes on. Okay, yeah, you're not putting anything else into the bucket anymore. But the investment lives on. And it lives on in others. And in some cases, there'll be rewards. So that's what I've got for Memory Monday. Blessings, everybody. Have a great day. I'm starting to get warm, so I got to take off this jacket now. It's going to be a great day. Looking for opportunities of investment. All right. Take care. Don't forget, subscribe. Blessings. See you tomorrow for Tips Tuesday. This video will be put up either tonight onto YouTube or tomorrow onto YouTube. But in the meantime, you can go over to YouTube and look at some of my other videos that I've put up for the last month. All right. Blessings. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.